Beyond Two Souls is the latest game from the same people who brought us Heavy Rain back in 2010, and I've got to admit, I really liked Heavy Rain. The plot may have been inconsistent and had a few problems, like how the hell Ethan was able to fall backwards off a building, limp to and hijack a taxi, and then drive away from a police helicopter. Holy fuck! But personally, I can forgive these kind of things, and felt it was a great experience. Beyond Two Souls still has these moments, for example when a group of local policemen climb on top of a moving train to fist fight a teenage girl, which is a little unbelievable because I doubt they get paid enough for that kind of thing, but for me there was still nothing major to make me dislike it. I did like the plot and characters and found it interesting enough to play until the end, but overall I had a better connection with Heavy Rain. The game is thrown together in a random order that connects Jodie's life, so you'll be playing as a teenage Jodie, then a younger Jodie, and then back and forth throughout the game. I can understand why this may put people off, but I found it interesting and felt it worked pretty well. I know I keep talking about Heavy Rain in this review, but I really feel that this is a legitimate problem with Beyond. Unlike in Heavy Rain, you control only one character. That character is Jodie, who is tied to an invisible entity called Aiden, who can manipulate objects and people within a certain radius around Jodie. The fact that there are no game overs and therefore no way for Jodie to be killed destroys that sense of endangerment Heavy Rain had, say, in the scene where Dr. Death tries to kill Madison in that creepy basement. If you died or did something different in a certain chapter of Heavy Rain, it would change how the next scene played out, or even just miss out entire chapters or add new ones. With Beyond Two Souls, if you try to fail certain parts, it might play out differently, but always ends the same. There are multiple endings, but they're not really decided on the actions you make earlier in the game, and only really in the last couple of chapters. The first thing you'll notice about Beyond Two Souls is that it looks absolutely amazing. Most of the game looks great, but some parts really stand out. I did find some strange moments, such as this part where you're throwing snowballs at a weird angle. Also, walking around felt stiff in some parts, however I found controlling Aiden to be pretty fun, and it was interesting to play certain scenes using Aiden in different ways. The game is of course full of QuickTime events just like in Heavy Rain, only this time in action scenes, instead of having on-screen prompts, the game slows down and you have to move the right analog stick in the direction that Jodie is either punching or evading. At first I thought this was a bad change, but eventually found that it worked really pretty well, as it didn't break away from the action on screen, and even if you did mess up a QuickTime event because of it, it didn't matter too much because Jodie can't actually be killed. Ellen Page does a fantastic job as Jodie, and so does Willem Dafoe as Jodie's doctor, Nathan Dawkins. The writing and voice acting in Beyond is definitely an improvement from Heavy Rain, and it really helps immerse the player into the game's world. If you enjoyed Heavy Rain, then I'd recommend Beyond Two Souls. However, if the story hasn't captured your attention, then you might have a hard time getting into it, as it's the kind of game you'd have to appreciate the story to appreciate the game overall. There's some replayability to be had here to see how certain scenes can go down different paths, but if it wasn't for trophies, I'd probably not be too bothered to try it out.
Come on, Aiden. I think they get the message.
And so does Willem Dafoe. Willem. Is it Willem or William? It's Willem, isn't it? I need to check that out. Before I make a fool of myself, it's Willem. Okay. Thought so.